Hi y'all, welcome to Dark Angel E-Knits. My name is Angel, I'm your host. I'd like to welcome new and returning viewers. If you're new, this is a knitting podcast where I talk about what I'm knitting, what I'm watching, what I finished, and everything else that's going on, just slightly. Alright, so first off, we're going to talk about my works in progress, and then we're going to talk about my finished objects, what I'm watching or reading, and things that are going on with me, because I'm crazy. Alright, first off, the needles. What I'm working on is the Dahlia cardigan by Heather Zeppetti, and I am using Lar from Milan. It's 100% combed, mercerized, double gas cotton. It is about a sport weight, and it's nothing creative like the name suggests. It's a 323 number. Wow. And it's out of this really pretty purple color. I really like it. Not quite as bright there. This has been a work in progress for a while, and will continue to be in progress for a while. So if the last time you've seen this, it's all twisted now. Sit here. Please don't pull it out of the needles, and we'll be okay. I don't want to cry on TV. But here's the dahlia, or the dahlia, down the center back. And then the pattern had you pick up, after you do the lace panel, let's try it this way, had you leave your stitches live, so you kept them on, and then you added a top and a bottom portion to it, and then you knit for like a Brazilian stitches. A Brazilian. Which is like 13 inches for me. But that was after you put a sleeve, an afterthought sleeve stitch in this row here. And then you knit for like ever. So I've got one half of the front almost done. And I pulled the needle out. We'll deal with that later. Yeah. It's going. I just got it up to 13 inches last night, really, and I started the border. I have about 9 more rows, I'm guessing, of border stitches into the seed stitch. It's going to take a while. It's a forever sweater, it feels like. And then when I've done this, I have to do the other side the exact same. So, it's nothing super interesting. It takes a long time, and now I have to pick up all the stitches, and I will do that later, when I'm not on your screens, wanting to scream. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. You'll never believe this. I was completely organized twice. This is what it looks like. So right now I am doing the front panel here. You can see, and it folds over. And it looks really pretty. I don't know when I'll get it done. I just work on it every now and then. The next thing I'm working on is really nice also. I'm just not sure if I like what I'm knitting it out of. This is the Camille cardigan by Gretchen Renovic. It's very pretty. This is out of a Knit Scene book from 2012, I believe. I'm knitting this out of Patons Divine on a 6.5mm needle. It's like this blue-white color, and it's uber puffy, like fuzzy-ish. It's 100% acrylic. I know it's nothing fantastic, but I have like a butt ton of this stuff, and I want it done and gone. And I don't want to knit a blanket. I don't. And it feels wrong to throw it in the garbage. It just does. So, you can't really see it. It's like this big fuzzy thing. Oh, you can almost... You can kind of see a vine detail coming down the side piece here. But it's getting lost in the halo of the yarn. But it's coming. I have about 4 or 6 inches, I believe, from here down to go before I can start the ribbing. And then I can come back and do the sleeves, and then pick up and do the collar. It's got like a shawl collar, which you've seen, and it's very beautiful. I'm not sold on the color and the yarn, but it's a progress. I started that Sunday, and because it's such a thick yarn and fat needles, it's going pretty fast. Really it is. And I just, apparently podcasting is kicking my butt. Every time I hit record, something bad comes out of my mouth, or something unlistenable, or I delete the whole thing. Yeah, just saying. It's been a day. Alright, other things on my needles. I started a rug. Yeah, a rug. Who would have thought? This is the Celine Round Carpet by Drops. I am using, no clue, some super bulky yarn I picked up at, what's the place called? Spin Right. They had a huge sale, I want to say about 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago. I went with a friend, and they had this massive skein of chunky yarn. I was like, oh, that's pretty. This is what it looks like in a ball. It's that color. It's all those colors. It's really kind of neat. It was a pain in the butt to wind because it wouldn't fit on my Swift. So I had to use a chair, and oof. And of course the ball winder won't hold it. It's massive. So it's all by hand. It's a bit falling apart, but you know, it's okay. I just work on it when I'm sitting on the sofa and I'm kind of bored and I don't want to knit on my sweater. You know, that's how it works. I'm going to lean down. There's a few more things I'm going to show you, and then I'll get on to my finished objects. Okay, I scooped up some stuff here. Another work in progress is the Callus Shoulder Shawl by Annie Smith, and I am using Wellington fibers. And it is 60% mohair, 40% wool in this very pretty purple color. I don't like mohair. I just don't like mohair. But it's coming out really nice. But it makes my eyes itch. So the plan is to finish it soon, just to make it disappear. But the pattern is showing quite nice now. You know, it's amazing. The later in the day I record, the better the lighting gets. Maybe it's a sign. But my plan is to finish this up before next podcast and be done with it. Hopefully. You guys can try to make me stay true to that. You just hop on the board and like, hey you, have you finished it yet? Is it done? I want to see it. And I'll be like, you. Alright. Another thing I'm working on, I have a half-finished object. It is the Toe Up Toddler Socks by Jen Nielsen. I'm using 2.25 needles. They're my high sharps. And it's coming out pretty good. I really like the heel. It came out very nice. It has that nice design on the back. Originally I was making these for my youngest daughter, Caroline. And I got carried away. I just kept knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting because what else was I going to do, right? I was in the car and I was just knitting and knitting and knitting. Then I got the bright idea to try it on her foot. Yeah. She had tried it on like a whole 1.5 pattern repeats before I did because it's that much too big. But it fits Catherine, my oldest, and she likes them. So I've got one done and I got the second one started. I have a bit of a toe. Really should finish the toe sometime soon. Within the next few days. I think I might finish the toe, but I don't know if I'll start the actual pattern. I know it's easy, but if you've noticed, I've got a few other things on the go. But it's coming. Another project. Yeah, another one. This is the Whips of Shame, because they need done, because there's too many. This is the Solid Socks Mystery from February and March 2011 by Lisa Stitchwin. I'm kind of behind in the whole mystery thing. Yeah. But it's really pretty. I really like this honeycomb pattern in it. It eats yarn like you wouldn't believe. I thought that I'd get a whole pair of socks out of one skein of the Croy. Oops, come back here. It's got this nice arrow detailed down the toe. It's very pretty. But it ate so much yarn that I'm about half an inch too short for my own foot. Turns out I have 3 more skeins besides the other one that I need for the other sock. So I have enough to finish these socks, both socks. I just need to rip out this toe and knit for another half inch and then bind off. And this one will fit perfect. It's just that much too short. But I'm getting there. These are knit on 2.25 DPNs. Knit Picks DPNs. They're coming. I haven't started the second one, obviously. When I realized I was out of yarn, I panicked, and it took me until about 3 days ago to find the other yarn that matches it. I just have it somewhere else. Okay, and this project is out of some very beautiful fleece artist. It is 100% Cecil. I don't know the colorway, other than I really like the colors. And I previously knit a shawl out of this exact color, out of the rest of this yarn actually. And I had issues because has no give. Just put it that way. And I didn't realize this, and I was new to the whole knitting neps thing, and yeah, it's different. So this is the Wings by Alyssa Daly. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's really a beautiful pattern. You should look. If I had more time and wasn't so angry with my computer and myself, I would show you my iPad, but I think I need a moment not to do that. I think I have too much technology going on here, and I'm going crazy. Really am. So those are all my whips. Yes. Check the sheet. Yes. Flip the page, and I'll show you my finished objects. Okay. So, things I've finished. I cast on and knit this cute little garter stitch hat. And of course, the sunshine likes me. And it's got pooling in a kind of a neat way. They almost look like lightning bolts going through it. This should fit my niece Natalie, but we'll see. It was supposed to be a different pattern that's going to match the sweater I'm going to show you, but I goofed it up, and so now it's just a garter stitch hat. This would, oh my gosh, the yawning never stops. I'm so sorry. This is the Lily's Cardigan by Stitchalog or Callista Yo, and it's really simple. I had to modify it quite a bit actually. It was going to have me do, it's a free pattern on Ravelry, it was going to have me do 2 repeats of this shell stitch across the front, and I couldn't get gauge. It was supposed to fit, I think, a 3 to 6 month old baby, and it was coming out, it would fit Caroline, my youngest daughter, who is 4 in kindergarten now. And so it wasn't going to work. This will fit a newborn quite nice. I might put a bow here or a pin or something small. I'm not sure. Just because this has no home as of yet. It's just sitting, and I wanted to use up some yarn. What else? I used 4mm needles to knit that, and it came out really fast. I was able to do it in about a day. Yeah, the hat was done in a day. And then this one was done in a day. This is called Composite, and it rolls. I was supposed to use a smaller needle for the hem, and I was lazy, and I didn't. So it's supposed to have buttons right here, but I haven't put them on yet, because I just haven't. I'm like that. But it's just this really simple little top. And it's got this nice little lace detail in the sleeve. It's just nice and soft and light. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of this color. I still have like 2 full cakes of it, and it's never ending. just so you know. Oh, I remember what I was going to tell you. The composite, the neckband and the sleeves are done, or the sleeve bands are done in a 3.5 millimeter needle, and the body of the sweater is knit in a 4 millimeter needle. The designer is Kelly Brooker. It's a free pattern also. Almost everything I knit on off of Ravelry is free, because I'm like that. So, more about this yarn. Can you see that? There's like a little eyelet pattern in here. And then this is a blanket. But I want to talk about this. This was done kind of modular. Maybe that would be the way to say it. So you start out with a little square, right? That's fine. Then, when you get to the end, you cast on the same amount of stitches you had for this square, minus your border, which is slip one on one side and slip one on the other side. So really you're just not adding 2 stitches to the original number. Well, then you add on this one, and then you add on this one, and then this one underneath turns into just stockinette, which is fine and it looks quite nice. Yeah, and you can't see the color in this now, but this is the blanket. It's kind of pretty. It almost looks entrelac, but it's not. It was simpler than that, which is nice. It also has no home. It is, let me think, what's the name here? Just gotta find it. It is the Eyelet Square Blanket by Linda Cry, or C-Y-R. I got it out of a book I had on my computer. I don't know why or how, but it's there. But yeah, it was a really simple knit. I knit it on 4 millimeter needles. I got it done in about 3 days. Sorry. So you start out with the 1 square and you continue until it says that you've got so many. And then you do the opposite. You start decreasing just like it would be if you were doing one of those granny favorite dishcloths blankets, the same thing. Another thing I finished and started without you all seeing is the Simple Pineapple Top Bag by Fatima, and I used a 3 millimeter hook. It's really kind of simple and pretty. I should wash it and block it, and then I'm going to fish a ribbon through the eyelet row here, and I don't know, I'll maybe just keep it in my bedroom somewhere. I don't know, it doesn't have a home either. I just like pretty things because I'm kind of difficult like that. I have 2 other projects I didn't bring in here again because I knew the first time I recorded they weren't here too. So it's nothing new, but they're not here. And I don't feel like running around looking again for other crazy stuff I've forgotten. So we'll make it faster. These are the large royal earrings by Jessica Zeltner, Zeltner, and there's a pair. There's 2 of them. So it's not like I just did one. They are crocheted out of thread that I've got kicking around and a 1.5 millimeter hook. The second pair, I made a different pair, and these are the Dainty Earrings by Julie A. Baldick, B-O-L-D-U-C, and they're nice too. They're just a nice size. They're also 1.5 hook. What else? Oh, there was one more project I did, and I've already given it away, but I'll tell you about it. It's the Spanish mantle, I guess is how you'd say it. I knitted out of Pattern Sparkle sequence in this lime green color. You've seen it before. I'm so sorry. I've knit in previous projects and showed you all. I had a bunch of it kicking around and I just wanted it to go away. So I made it massive until I ran out of yarn. I could wrap it around myself. It was very pretty, and I gave it to a lady that I see at one of my knit nights here in town, in my prayer shawl group. She was so tickled and happy. So that was all it was. It was like a feather and fan pattern, and that's all there was to it. It was by, let me see, Mrs. L. Addie Crandall Smith. It's an older pattern. I think it was a 1942 pattern. It was free on Ravelry also. So if you want, you can check the notes and see the link. I forgot to take photos, so when I see her again, I'll have to get a photo with her in it, and she'll be excited. Another project I don't have is the Kelly ruffled party dress. Kelly is like Barbie's little sister, you know, the doll. I made her a little dress. The designer for that is Lynn Sears, and I used a 2.55 millimeter hook. It doesn't look like the pattern, we'll put it that way. I have gauge issues. Apparently, I have gauge issues a lot lately. It's gotten worse. But it is what it is. It looks really cute. I still have to put a snap on the back so that it's easy for the girls to take off and on. Another thing I finished is the Tip Top Tank by Amanda Tipton. It's a little tank top I made for Caroline. I used a 5mm hook and just some scrap yarn. That's all there was. That's all I finished and done in the last 3 weeks. Yeah. If I get some of the stuff off my nails, I think I'd feel better. But I keep finding stuff to add. Craziness. Like, why do I need to add stuff? Like, I don't know. So, I'm not even going to talk about what's next. I thought about it, and I want to. But in reality, I keep thinking about all these other projects, and I really should knock them out. So maybe I'll just hold that for next week and talk to you about it then. What I've been watching on TV / reading. We'll start with reading. I'm not a huge reader anymore. I don't have time. But I recently picked up the Divergent books. And I love it. My husband and I went to see Divergent the movie. And, oh, I fell in love with Tobias. He's so yummy. And he's perfect. But if you've read the books, you know about Tobias. And the movie's different. The books give Tobias a different type of feel. I don't think he's as yummy, really, in the books as he is in the movie. He's a really good guy, but I don't know. It's more innocent in the books than in the movie. So we'll have to wait and see how the second book plays out in the movies and stuff like that. So wait and see. The Divergence books are written by Veronica Roth. I suggest reading them. It's a very good utopia-tory kind of story in a kind of fantasy world, you know, like, it makes you wonder if that's how the world might end up, post-apocalyptic, minus the zombies. TV-wise, I recently have been watching Bitten. It's based on another novel that I've read. The Kelly Armstrong series has The Others, I think, or Other, and it's a really good series. If you're into sci-fi type fantasy fiction, then I definitely suggest you picking up Kelly Armstrong's books. You won't be disappointed. The Bitten series is based on her werewolves in part of the series. Like, it's a really good story. The characters in the TV show versus the book is like how it always is. The main character, Clay, he's this yummy werewolf who falls in love with this girl and bites her, and she becomes the only female werewolf to be, and she has a hard life, and the way the show depicts her as being this wimpy girl, and that's not how the book depicts her at all. Like, she came from a rough life, and she kicks ass now that she's a werewolf. Like, I wouldn't mess with her. She's just wickedly awesome, and he's so yummy and awesome. Like, he's a bad werewolf. If you're interested, you should check it out. I'm not sure if it's still airing anywhere, but I'm thinking they're having a second season, and it might be starting, I think, in the spring. I'm not 100%. You could check the website. I think that would be the way to go. The other thing I'm watching is Downton Abbey. Me and my husband are currently watching it together. I think we're on like season 3, and I really like it. It's new to me. It's a really nice show. It's historical and just good things, like interesting. We also watched Sherlock, and we're behind like a whole season, I think. Chase and I, we are trying to catch up, but it's hard with the kids because we get about an hour's worth of TV time after they go to bed to watch things where, of course, they curse and swear and people do things with each other that isn't exactly PG-13, let alone PG 5 and 6-year-olds. So yeah, it's hard sometimes. That's all I'm watching and stuff. TV wise, I've been pulling up other podcasts lately. I've pulled up Amy Beth's. She's the Fat Girl Speaks. Fat Squirrel Speaks. She's hilarious. I also watched Twisted Strands with JD. She's awesome too. She's just rocking. I also really like Knit One Heart 2 with Sheila and Wendy. They're amazing. The Knit Girls, I'm sure you've heard of most of them. Yeah, like, I've just been trying to catch up. And Steve from Dramatic Knits. Knitting in Circles. 90% knitting. I'm still behind on the Knit Girls. Like, it's crazy. Who would have thought sending 3 kids to school would mean your life's still crazy? It is. But enough about that. So what's going on with me? Why have I been missing for about 3 weeks, and before that, like, 9 months? Well, 9 months ago, I got sick. Off and on. All winter. I have a really crappy immune system. It hates me. But it is what it is, right? It's who I am. Then I just kind of got lazy and busy and lazy and more busy and off and on. And now I'm back. I'm trying really hard. And 3 weeks ago, shortly after I podcasted, I believed my children had their very first interview with their kindergarten teacher the day after Labor Day. We did have that meeting. We went, and I believed they were going to school the day after for good. I was wrong. They didn't start until the Friday. I really love them. I really do. Don't get me wrong. But when I was counting on 3 days before they actually went to school, having peace and quiet and unwinding, it didn't happen. Instead, they got upset because they couldn't go until the Friday and just went crazy. And then Friday came, and they were so excited. They loved it. And then we packed up everybody and went camping. And that took a long time to get adjusted. And then they went to school on the Monday, and everything was fine. And then, what happened? And then Thursday, the teacher sent me home a note saying that Caroline had spots in her stomach and was scratching them, and she thought it might be chickenpox. Oh my god, chickenpox? You're kidding me. There's no breaks. So I took her to the doctor's on Friday morning, and he wasn't sure if it was chickenpox because it didn't seem like it. And then he made me bring her back on Saturday, and he was sure it was chickenpox, but it wasn't reacting like a traditional case of chickenpox would. Here in Ontario, Canada, we vaccinate our children against chickenpox and measles and stuff like that. Well, the chickenpox vaccination is fairly new, really. It's only been around for about 10 or 15 years. So they really don't know if it's working for sure. And they'll find out in the next 5 to 10 years to when they really know if it's really doing anything for our kids or not. They've had to double the dose, and my twins aren't scheduled for their second dose until their birthday this year. But the first what it does is it limits the contagions. Like, it doesn't make you have this massive case of chickenpox like we all did when we were kids. Like, we were covered head to toe with these itchy little red dots, and we were horribly, horribly told not to scratch. It wasn't a good time. I had it twice. but Caroline only had a handful, maybe about 20, and they all stayed on her stomach, and they didn't spread any farther. Like, normally the first ones will come, and they'll be horribly itchy, and they'll fade, and then more will come. Well, she didn't have any more that came. They just stopped. That's what the vaccination does. It's like they get a mild case, and they never get any more. So you don't even know if they have chickenpox until they have itches, and then they go away, and you're not sure what they are. We think during the summer, our son James, the other twin, we think he had them on his face, because he had maybe about 15, and they all looked more like spider bites or mosquito bites, because they were red and sore, and then they disappeared after a couple days. They were gone. Kathy, my oldest, she had it while I was pregnant with the twins. She just had them in one area, and the same thing, they were gone in a few days. Chickenpox normally lasts between 5 to 10 days, depending on the severity. But I mean, like, 3 days isn't 5 or 10 days, so it's crazy. So, at least to say all of this, she was home with me the Friday, and I couldn't podcast. I wanted to. I planned on it, but I couldn't. It was what it was. And then this week, I've recorded about 5 times today. Yeah. At least 5 times. I got so far, I got it started to upload, and somehow I saved over top of my file. Yeah. It wasn't a good moment for me. So it's really hard to redo this. And I'm hoping everything came out fine. I don't know if I talked about this, but my sister had a baby girl, Savannah Faith. She was 6 pounds and 1 ounce. I haven't seen her since the second day she was born. Oh, we have some sisterly issues between me and her. I don't really want to discuss it, although in some ways I do and in some ways I don't, in case she or other people in my family watch and get mad at me. Most of my family knows how I feel about this, so it doesn't really bother me that way, except I think it would make her feel really uncomfortable knowing other people know really what's going on. So I won't. It's just a sister thing. What else is going on? This weekend, my dad and my husband and my mom and me are going to put in a new door in my back porch. Hooray! The storm won't come in. The winter won't come. It's not coming. Me and my husband also talked about going to Rhinebeck, New York this year for the big Rhinebeck Festival. I'm so excited. We are going. I'm not sure if we're going to rent a room or if at some point my brother has a trailer and we might rent it from him and drive it down to the States. It's about an 8-hour drive, but it's so worth it. And I'm taking the kids this year and my husband, and we're just going to have so much fun for the weekend. He was able to get the Friday and the Monday off, so that's kind of a first for both of us. Like, he usually doesn't get days off like that. He doesn't take days off work. He's crazy that way. But everything's going pretty good around here, in all, except I'm getting used to being home alone. It's really quiet, and I don't know what to do with myself. I've been playing video games. It's really bad. It really is. I've been playing Sims Freestyle, I believe that's what it is on the iPad. Heyday. Yeah, Heyday. And Candy Crush. And I've given up on Candy Crush. I think I'm on level 70, and I can't get past it. So I think I'm going to delete it this afternoon, if not tomorrow, because I'm sick of it. I know I rambled. I'm sorry. I should let y'all go. And hopefully next week things are better and I don't have this really white shadow on my face that makes me look special. And until then, knit lots, have a cup of tea, and talk to you then.